honestly, the hovers over there, pretty interesting, but in the end, they still come back to the Gnar, which can do so many different things. You know,
yeah, such a huge part of GAM's success, as now he's got to try to get away, but a flash in from Broken Blade. Kiaya is out of there, and setting the attitude, setting the pace for the series. And now Kiaya is going to be the target yet again. G2 did their homework. They know who they got to go after, and Kiaya is trying to get away as Skumon continues chasing forward. Hans Sama doesn't even need to provide the extra damage. Skumon, and he lifts away with 20 HP. Now LeBron's going to pay the price. So GAM get one back, but G2 are making plays, and they're making more of them faster until Emo has something to say about it, riding into the Weaver's wall. Levi's ready to knock him right back up into the air, and the feat of warfare is claimed by... To seize control over the bot side river and go in for the first Drake. First piercing arrow from Hans Sama, doesn't find Elio or Artemis. Now the Weaver's wall has arrived. Emo's ready to fight. They're gonna go after him, but it's LeBron the first target. Crash down into the Magnet Storm, finds Skumon, but he's already powered up by the Subjugate. Curtain Call opens up, and Levi's ready to jump in. Skumon is already down, and Levi's taking a kill. Hans Sama walks out of the way of the seismic shove. G2 continuing to try to get away from this one. Emo doesn't have enough damage to make anything else happen as the Deadly Flourish flies out. Now Chain CC to Hans Sama. He's stuck around.
Caps pushed in on bottom side first, though.
Let's see how it goes. The Herald's already down to 2/3 HP. GAM thinking about it here, as already Emo's ready to make the teleport come in and join the fight first. But a huge engage coming out from G2. They've already killed Elio before he can do anything. Levi's into the back line, looking to find some damage here with a Hans Sama. Nice seismic shove back into Skumon. A little bit more damage is needed, and they're finally going to take him down, but he also has to be traded back again for another one. Broken Blade in the Braum trying to get away as Kiaya goes Mega Form. The Deadly Flourish doesn't hit, but the Weaver's Wall is ready to ride. Emo makes his way into the fight once again, and Artemis is ready to follow up. A little bit more damage on Caps isn't going to be there, as Broken Blade has to slice and dice his way back
under
away.
Tower to try and interrupt his teleport. That's why Emo got there first, but they got the big lead from deleting the rel so early on. Kiaya here, since he is chunked out, not going to be a GAM answer. GAM have called, we're going to give you that Herald, we will go for the trade, but can they survive under Tower?
Yeah, Elio's coming up here to try to help Kiaya. Kiaya hit the wave to guarantee that he would turn into Mega Gnar, so he would have the extra HP, but Caps goes in, Broken Blade gets it done. Elio now surviving, trying to in a 1 versus 5 with his top laner already down. He's got no way home. G2 will end up losing Caps as part of the process, so a 2-for-1 trade for them. They'll take the tier 1 turret at the same time. They'll guarantee the charge into the tier 2, and nobody in GAM colors is even around this thing, Kobe. They're gonna get the tier 2 in the top lane for G2 as well.
Yeah, but so much is getting traded because GAM got the Dragon. They also are getting the towers here in mid lane and in bottom lane. Of course, the secondary shove to get the pull in. See Artemis there also kind of chunking Hans Sama, so he has to stay really far out, and that allowed them to go chase that extra kill.
And we got more action right back to live as Emo's in some trouble, and Broken Blade has locked him up and beat him down. No way out for the Taliyah. G2 grabbing kill number 7 this game, and now with Emo dead for the next 30 seconds, it's an easy turret take here in the bottom lane. That's another tier 1 going the way of G2 as they build up to a 1,500 gold lead. Hans Sama, nice sidestep there with the Deadly Flourish to guarantee there's no counterpunch for GAM in the mid lane, but topside, Kiaya will get back a tier 1 of his own.
Yeah, GAM keep trading objectives back, but G2 getting all these extra kills plus the objective because they're the ones making the force, making the play. Be a bigger story and have trouble in the side lanes, but you see G2 every time they have him pushing a side lane, they have most of the team hovering over to that side too, so they would be able to collapse. Meanwhile, the other side lane,
oh, Kiaya versus Broken Blade. Kiaya getting some good damage there, but he immediately uses the Mega Gnar to knock Broken Blade away. The Sterix Gauge shield is enough to keep Broken Blade protected, keeping him feeling safe. Does not have to worry about popping the Dominus here early. Kiaya throws out another Q into the wallop. Even though he gets slowed down by the Stride Breaker, he still feels safe enough. Broken Blade, though, wanted to spin the flash to try to engage there on the enemy top laner, as now the seismic shove, the Weaver's Wall, it's Emo turning a fair fight unfair, making it so GAM comes out on top.
Heck yeah, baited him in there for Emo. Emo's going to continue pushing as well. So even though Caps had shoved that wave up to the top side, they've got their teleport to answer. Kiaya can go collect that wave. 2 items as well. GAM actually really heavily shoving down there. Kiaya doing so much work on this tower with the Trinity Force. And they're going to trade the Dragon. Secondary tower picked up here. Kiaya barely gets it.
He gets it, and now he's got to try to join up with the rest of the team. Levi's going to be in some danger here as LeBron and Caps go in, find some initial damage onto the GAM jumper, but Kiaya goes in for the Mega Gnar onto both kills. G2 holds on. Elio trying to retreat as G2 have a 4v3. Broken Blade tries to slice his way into the fight as Emo, Artemis, and Elio have to run away. It was so close for GAM, but Caps barely holding on, fires back from the other side of the wall, and G2 get a 2-for-1.
Yeah, that was barely a sliver of HP left for Caps. I mean, Kiaya had found such a good angle with both carries trapped inside the red buff pit there. Not done quite yet, though. Okay.
Oh, the flash in from Elio, but a nice backstep there from Broken Blade to get out of the way of the seismic shove. Elio down to 200 HP now. GAM wanted something, but not quite hitting their skill shots.
And during that, G2 are taking the Otacon here. So Skewmon should be able to finish that one up. The attempt on Broken Blade's a life
piercing arrow there from Hans Sama to put about 20% of the health bar into Artemis. Another one connects there onto Elio. As Levi wanted to go for a win, becomes lightning. Emo fires off the Weaver's wall as Levi dives into the background. Hans Sama in some danger, but he ain't gonna be killed off just yet. Levi's about to die to Skewmon as G2's counterpunch is way too strong. GAM thought they had him, but the only thing they have is an ambulance ride. GAM has already lost 4. A triple kill for Skewmon, and Kiaya is stuck between a rock and a hard place and a pillar, and he's about to drop as well. The ace for Caps for G2, the victory march. Game 1's done.
G2 ripped them apart there with the counter. Skewmon is way too beefy there. When Levi goes in, he just gets chomped down.
It's exactly what you said back in the lobby, man. Xinjiao might like to scrap, but Trundle is ready to answer the call. G2 up 1-0.
Wade definitely much more comfortable in those siege situations.
Meanwhile, they've got a very similar overall rate in series, as now we got a problem for Emo, who flashes over the wall, but Hans Sama's ready to follow. Emo barely staying alive. Hans Sama in a little bit of danger now too as he continues going forward. Hans gets first blood, but then he's the second. G2 continue going forward as Elio's got to be protected, but the protection is not there just yet. Elio getting away. Skewmon has to flash to get it. It's a 2-for-2 so far as Lebrov is down to 100 HP, but he will survive.
Extra gold leads. However, Hans Sama on the Lucian might have something to say about it. He's got an extra little dagger. He's getting ganked.
Okay, Levi's coming down here looking to use that early money as Lebrov still only level 1. His heal's not even available. Artemis should be able to pick this one up for free. Levi just zoning Hans away so that there's no chance anybody would. He is going to find that chicken camp stolen away.
Yeah, he didn't see Skewmon, the chicken thief.
Oh, Hans Sama in some danger here as Elio and Artemis immediately going in after the AD carry. The Lucian about to die. The flash forward. Artemis grabbing the kill now with a phosphorus bomb back towards Lebrov. It's a 2v2 double kill.
Blade Dragon getting burned down. Levi is heading over.
Yeah.
So watch out for the next possible hook. They're not going to go for it, though. It's already gone.
Yeah, they were too late. Emo, yes, he'll be able to pick up a few there as that wave collides into the turret, but it's still about almost a 3-wave lead for Caps, as now Artemis has to try to retreat. Here comes the Realm Warp. This could be the problem for GAM as Artemis gets stunned up, shut down. Caps gets paid.
Did you call? They go for the grub bite.
Elio goes in. Lebrov throws up the door. Exhaust onto Levi, but Artemis is also here. Lebrov jumping back to the safety of Hans Sama, but a little bit more damage over the wall gets the job done. Artemis kill jungler for mid laner there as Broken Blade goes for the ulti onto Kiaya, and here comes the Realm Warp. Caps is looking to go aggro, and with Skewmon coming with them, the slam into the wall is there, and Skewmon's grabbing kill number 4.
Yeah, they put a stop to that pushing of the Jace, but GAM are able to answer on the other side of the map. Even Emo here gets a little bit.
However, the numbers don't lie, my friend. You look up at that gold lead there at the top part of your screen. It is down below 500 now for the side of GAM. Emo eating a whole ton of damage here for the calling. Another beautiful wall slam coming out from Skewmon as now Lebrov and Hans Sama are ready to make it a 2-for-nothing special. Hans Sama. Here in this one, he's doing just fine. When you're looking at the rest of the map, it's still a lead for Artemis, but that's about it. Levi trying to put a little bit more money in Artemis's pocket. He got it right there at the last second, but he may pay for that last little bit of greed for the turret plate. Skewmon shows up, knocks him up into the air with a point-blank keeper's verdict. Broken Blade trying to follow, looking for a little bit more CC, knocks him back, beautifully done. Skewmon and Broken Blade, they'll lose. Just gonna be the sacrifice. Lebrov still dropping very low on HP, and right when it looks like it might have been a fair fight, here comes Caps. G2 get a 1-for-nothing in the bottom lane.
Another good rotation over from G2. Caps is gonna be able to finish off the turret in the aftermath too, so He's going to get solo tower gold as the rest of them back off and funnel even more focused in the favor of GAM. A lot of standing gold left in these turrets, so PI is going to be able to get this one, chop that gold lead from G2 down.
See what they can do to try to stabilize this, because it just feels like anytime GAM gets one, G2 get two. They're always coming out on top.
Yeah, well, they are going to go for that. Pop down that mid turret with the Rift Trail, so that one is guaranteed, and it's into a dragon, so let's see. Broken Blade want to finish up on the top side tower. He does have his teleport ready to come to this dragon fight, but GAM have the early priority into the river, setting up for dragon here.
Let's see how much value GAM can get out of their poke, out of their artillery on this one. Broken Blade's going to teleport into the enemy jungle, though. He's going for the flank attack. Levi is already on the Drake, but if Broken Blade catches him by surprise here, this is such a problem. Emo's going to be knocked into the team and immediately killed. Hans Sama on a killing spree with a beautiful slam into the wall with Keeper's Verdict to set up the second kill for Hans. Lebrov and Broken Blade completely controlling the fight. Broken Blade is redeeming himself in this kill in the back into the fight, and G2, now with a 3,000 gold lead, will also earn themselves another neutral objective with the dragon.
G2 here.
3rd HP. They've got caps here, so they know that if GAM comes and tries to fight this, they will have to fight through the Rise, who does now also have Seeker's arm guard. Now, oh, nice flash follow onto the body slam there from Broken Blade. This time the ulti collides exactly where it needs to, and Caps goes on a killing spree. G2, they'll take the Otacon. They'll be up 24 flower petals, 5 kills, and 4,000 gold.
Caps have a 3-level lead without even the Rod of Ages ticking over. And that thing's going to tick over and he's going to get another level. So this is just so massive. They've been playing those sideways, playing the macro, and he's getting another one here.
Yeah, Skumon wants to go in after Emo, and Caps is ready to follow. Levi with a defensive stun, trying to provide an opportunity for his teammate to get away. Caps triggers the Seraph shield there, as Skumon and Broken Blade have to back away a little bit further. Lebrov going to get grabbed by the dredge line as GAM continue their chase. Won't land the CC onto Lebrov as he tries again to protect Caps, who flashes away from the depth charge. Broken Blade here on the front line as the TP's coming in to once again reinforce GAM. The ulti from the Gragas, not enough. Emo
with the teleport up to that top side as well. Quay did get the shutdown there, so Emo with an extra little bit of a boost, but he really needs it.
Yeah, he got the shutdown, and it at least got him to level 13, so as Caps' Rod of Ages ticks over, he's not 4 levels down. It's still 3 levels down. That is still extreme, and Levi is now finding himself caught, slammed back into the wall. Lebrov and Skumon need a little bit more damage, and Caps and Hans Sama have arrived. Instead, they'll turn their attention over to Elio, who cannot get away. He is a tanky Gragas that's also spamming abilities at maximum speed. Lebrov goes in for an engage on Emo. Broken Blade knocks Elio back. Emo, not the right angle on him, but Elio will be a fine consolation prize. Kiaya shows up. Too little, too late to find much of anything, and the clock is at exactly the right time to make that play. 25 minutes into the game, G2 now has a 5v4 for the next 25 seconds. They will dare GAM to answer them at the Baron.
Yeah, beautiful play there from G2. They do it without Caps at all. They use the Gragas, Poppy, and Braum to find their pick. They force GAM into this tight spot.
All right, G2, let's see how they can defend against this. Levi wants to go in there with a Grand Starfall, but he's immediately ejected by the Keeper's Verdict. G2 burns down the objective, and Broken Blade keeps everybody else busy. Skumon into the back, finding the slam into the wall on Emo. G2 aren't stopping, and it's GAM dropping. Artemis caught in the middle of a Realm Warp, and 4v1. He's buried. Double kill back over to Broken. Now in the territory where GAM must rely on a mistake from G2, and it needs to be a pretty colossal mistake. Look at the bounties on the side of G2. Skumon and Caps, both with maxed bounties. Broken Blade is about to solo down the formerly fed Corky. Take a drink, Artemis. He's out of there. Call him the ride home. He's done. And now G2, they've got a 5v4 again for 30 seconds again, moving up towards the mid lane inhibitor, having already claimed the one in bottom lane. It's a full 5-man push. The minions flowing into the base as well, but G2, they want to play it safe. They don't want to open.
Even despite their bottom lane getting behind early on, and it possibly being an angle there for GAM, G2 really able to cover it, Caps especially, and now they're coming to finish the job.
All right, GAM got to try to defend this last remaining lane of inhibitors, but it ain't gonna happen too easy. Broken Blade goes golden, trying to stay alive. The tier 3 turret buys a lot of time though. GAM with a nice defense, have already found 2. Caps into the Zonias, trying to stay alive. The shutdown back over to Levi. Caps wants to get away, but a massive shutdown for Kiaya. GAM GAM come to life and defend their base on their last legs.
GAM has TP.
Yeah, that's a Labrov TP from an unsealed spellbook. So GAM will go ahead and claim themselves the Drake.
Teleporting into the base.
Hansama's also here.
Yeah, they pulled off the defense. They got the objective bounty shut down. Kiaya puts the ward in the brush, but he gets the bad news.
Yeah, he might have gone a little bit too close here. Deadman's plate Poppy catches up, and Hansama empties the magazine into him.
And slowly, G2 will close in. The pressure unrelenting.
G2, there goes the last inhibitor in the GAM base. They go in for the engage. They're trying to find Levi instead, switching over to Emo. He's already dead, as now Elio's about to fall with him. Broken Blade goes back in for a nice two-man body slam. Rune Prison on Levi seals his fate as well, and it's only Artemis left standing. But the Nexus turrets are down. G2 still firing as Artemis has to flash to try to get away. Kiaya's back into the fight, but it's a 2v4. Cap staying alive, kiting Artemis out as Broken Blade comes back over for the CC into the kill. The ace for G2. The game for G2. Game point for G2.
Whenever you slam a Nunu, you are thinking
It's a target though. They're going to interrupt the recall of Hansama. Levi is here. Hans does have summoner spells available to try to get away from this one. Barrier is in. The feathers don't hit it. First blood goes over to Elio. Levi that should be pretty easy business there for Skewmon.
And a fairly common Nunu build is the Leandries into full tank.
Ooh.
Trying to go mess around.
Danger. Levi making his way up here. They know the Ambessa does not have the ulti to try to outplay this. It's going to give him the opportunity. Broken Blade there with a flash away. Kiaya gets his kill. GAM!
9 minions as well. The answer on the opposite side. The response after the red buff steal.
Oh, Elio trying to stop him here. Labrov is down to 100 HP. Feet of Warfare going to be claimed now by GAM.
Up on the top side as well. Now mid.
Labrov getting charmed, but it's only the clone. Real one gets knocked up into the air, but Eris is taking a ton of damage here from Caps. Levi tries to go back in, but the Pop Blossom manages a catch. Levi in some danger, and Labrov knocks him down.
G2 trying to put a stop to that again, Tom, very quickly, because this is going to lead right into the grubs as well. Caps getting instant value on top of it.
Caps trying to dive between turrets for the kill onto Eris, wants to get the reset, will end up getting the explosion. Attacks means Levi doesn't have the confidence to really fight Skewmon for this buff. He ends up losing out on that one. And now we've got Labrov and Hans up here looking to make the kill happen onto Kiaya. Bullet time, Pop Blossom, Snowball, the whole kitchen sink. Skewmon takes the kill. And G2
the bottom side of the map. Broken Blade trying to deal with the other side of the swap. Can Artemis and Elio put as much pressure? They're getting teleported on. That's why Broken Blade is staying under here.
Yeah, Broken Blade knows he has the public execution if he wants to try to make something happen here, but they burst him down before he can do anything about it. Cap should be able to get one back here onto Elio with the explosive charge there. No amount of shielding is going to save him from that. Ends up being a one.
G2 already looking like they are going to have the most powerful AD carry in the game, and that is Caps.
All right, Broken Blade teleports up there, but it's a three-man play coming out from GAM, looking to burst him down.
Again?
Man, I can't even finish the sentence. Broken Blade getting bullied here in this third game as Eris has to use Spirit Rush to get away bottom side. Labrov at the point-blank tangle barbs threatening to lock him up there as GAM are full committing to try to take down the tier 1 turret, but G2 is doing the same thing down here in the bottom lane. The grubs, it's 3 for the side of G2. They are burning through it faster. GAM still trying to get it.
Explosive.
It's a full race for the first turret, but it goes over to GAM, and they'll earn the boots with it.
The star here for GAM on his Jax. Can he carry?
Kiaya with the 40 farm lead over Broken Blade. An even stronger advantage than the plus 30 that Caps has in the mid lane there. Now Kiaya dodging away from the public execution, but Broken Blade's got Caps. Kiaya's not getting away from that one. And that just means low HP, but now Caps in danger. Levi over the wall. Caps jumps to safety, and Levi beats him over the head.
But they've taken over the jungle, and they do get what they came for. GAM with the force play. G2, they've got Broken Blade on the tower up there, and he's going to get it.
This means for GAM, you've got to make sure you get this Drake. If you're already giving away the top lane tier 1, you've got to get what you came for on the other side of the map. And they will be able to force G2 back for now. Elio goes in for a quick knock up there onto Lebrov, but Skewmon rolling the snowball down towards the pit. Not going to matter. He's already HP. Levi and Elio walking up, scaring G2 back. Era's ready to join. Already using one Spirit Rush. Finds a charm into Hans Sama, putting the pressure onto the AD carry, but Lebrov is coming around from the side, looking to find the Pop Blossom. Otacon stolen away by GAM. Hans Sama with the flash over the wall, staying alive. Kiaya looking to chase him down. It's Otacon plus a kill over to GAM, but what about Elio? He gets himself back away. Broken Blade exhausted, having to retreat now. Kiaya on the hunt, looking for the Tristana, but Buster Shot is a great disengage mechanism. Problem is, here's Lee looking for pressure onto a tier 2 turret. GAM taking the tier 1 over in mid lane at the same time. Skewmon rolls a snowball up to see if maybe he can psych him out a little bit, but GAM is undeterred. Levi and Artemis do a lot of damage to this turret very quickly. This time around, Kobe, this is the difference. If G2 are getting a tier 2 top, GAM is getting a tier 2.
His Ahri ultimate isn't quite up. A couple of seconds left on it. He's getting chunked so far down.
Oh, I think Skewmon might just explode him. Yeah,
will make the side lane play on the other side of the map to get some gold back. That gold goes into Nunu though, and that gold just kind of not too big of an investment. They go for the teleport play. Can they make the pincer happen?
Yeah, they're going for the TP now as Caps has to rocket jump away to the very edge of the pipe. Broken Blade wants to go in and he gets into the very back of the pipe, but Hans Sama's already down. Broken Blade having to run away. Is down, and now we'll see what else GAM can get from it. Elio walking into Broken Blade. Caps looking for the opportunity here on Artemis. The feathers are recalled, but they don't find the right target. Lebrov is picked off. GAM with another one.
Most played there for the split.
And Hans Sama, the target again as GAM go in, exhaust onto the MF, immediately followed up with the damage from the Xayah, and with Hans out of the picture, new targets remain. Lebrov, Pop Blossom will only mark his own grave. Double kill for Eris, set up by the bottom lane. GAM feeling good about this one. Levi ticks level 15 as GAM head over to the Baron pit. G2, they're recognizing it. They're going to take the consolation prize of the mid lane tier 1 turret. But Mr. Kobe, I will tell you what, I will take that trade every day of the week.
Yes, you certainly will, and you will like it. Broken Blade going to try. Well, they're actually going to get quite a few towers here.
Now this trade is a little bit more dicey as they take the tier 2s in both mid and bottom. That actually leads to what at the very beginning is an Eris wants to finish this off, but it may cost his life.
Good ward. The ward sees them on the rotation over.
Nice job.
Pays respect.
Sticks almost around 400 on both Kiaya and Levi. That's a lot of extra money if you let G2 pick these up. Skewmon though, what?
Delivery!
The hell was that?
That was a speed delivery.
Okay, not exactly sure what went down there as GAM now going to use the redemption to heal up. And they've got Kiaya and the bottom lane pushing towards the tier 2 turret as Eris applies the pressure back over in mid. GAM force down the tier 2 in bottom lane, back up to a 4,500. It's a 5v4 for the next 15 seconds, and GAM are going in. The dive coming out from Elio into the back line, looking for the kills here as they've already killed Caps. He's down. Lebrov will go with them. Hans tries to fire back, but there's not a lot you can do when Kiaya's already got a triple kill. GAM, smack him right in the mouth.
When all the pressure is on, GAM stands tall. They get another team fight. They're facing elimination. They get the kills, they teleport back, and they're looking for G2's Nexus.
They are looking for the end. They are looking for game 4. Skewmon's back alive. Hans is still standing, but they're the only two. Skewmon wanted to channel the ulti, but they won't let him do it. Now the first Nexus turret is already dead. Kiaya finding his way to Hans Sama here in the back. Levi goes on a killing spree. Skewmon goes straight into the graveyard. Lebrov's alive, but who cares? That's support Nico, and that's GAM taking us to game 4. Ulti, because so much of the power budget is in those big ult
down there on Neferi, getting into the action early.
Skewmon's gonna make his way down here, but Lebrov is eating a ton of damage first. It's first blood over to Artemis. Broken Blade's gonna eat the apples. It heals him up enough. Now Lebrov with rotation over. Kiaya cannot get the kill.
Kiaya really focused, tunnel visioned on getting his kill on Broken Blade. but it turns around and goes back to favor of G2.
Barris jumps in to join the fight. Ace in the hole to guarantee it, and Artemis gets a paycheck. Not look that impressive. Now gonna get taunted up. They wanted to see if that taunt might have been able to bring him closer to the trap. A little bit more damage will get it done. Ace in the hole, that's the goal. As there's Broken Blade though, getting the kill
clean
back.
up with the minion waves up here, and he is gonna go for the stop.
Oh, that's a huge taunt from Elio. If they can get a little bit more, the winds of war are blowing, and Caps is blown away. Yeah, the abilities interrupt the channel, so you've got to be ready to spring it early if the Rupture's about to hit you, or if you think he's about to get the cooldown off on the Scream. Flash for the eat. Broken Blade gets the
push
solo.
The wave in. He forces the teleport out from Kiaya too, so now teleport advantage from G2.
Look at the damage Artemis puts out. Hans Sama already down to half HP after Artemis tags him here with a headshot. Stolen Twisted Fate ulti coming in. Here's Eris. There goes LeBron. There goes Hans. There goes the turret. But here comes Broken Blade. He's in the middle of 4. Cho'Gath, he might be hungry, but he ain't eating today. GAM to build this gold lead, and they will use that resource immediately. Dark Dagger hits Artemis, but just one dagger isn't going to be a massive threat. Herald's about to charge, and there we go. Tier 1 turret down in the mid lane. That's 2 turrets for GAM now.
Priority continues for getting more and more answers here, but the dive.
Okay, Eris getting dove, tries to use the ulti to defend himself. Immediately, Elio comes crashing in. He wants to find a taunt, but he doesn't find anybody. Now Kiaya's shown up. G2, they still got a 5v2. The turret is about to fall. Kiaya in danger as Elio tries to get away. Kiaya's fully running. GAM caught off guard. They'll lose 2 plus a turret, and G2 aren't done yet. Kiaya trying to stop the back on Caps. This is a big punch back coming out of G2. Now GAM are going to at least get the tier 2 in the mid lane as a trade, but the problem is there's about half remaining on it. GAM going after their 3rd Drake of the game. This would bring them to Soul Point. They lost about 1,000 of their 3,000 gold lead, but look at the Caitlyn traps beautifully placed on the ramp. If Skumon wants to go in to try to contest this, it is a one-way trip there for the dog. He decides discretion is the better part of valor today. That is
lane, knowing that they don't have their outer tower for defense. That's where GAM can try and utilize their Scion ultimate, their Galio ultimate here to really open up space for the...
Now, let's see how this fight shakes out with all the resources that are now back up after the last scrap. You can see Levi has 5 seconds left on the Lilting Lullaby. GAM do not want to fight without the Lilia ulti. It's a massive tool to not have available. Caps with a little bit of poke there onto Eris, but Artemis responding with some of his own there through Ace in the hole. Levi starting up the Drake. Kiaya here on the front line. Traps being placed down at the entryway to the Dragon Pit itself. Artemis needs to be so mindful of his positioning. He is the key for both teams in this. If G2 can pick off the Caitlyn, that's their green light. If GAM can protect him, they can steamroll a fight. The Crab is going to be the first part of the fight. Eris moves in, scaring G2 back. Crab going to be claimed by G2, but now the fight starts off. A lot of damage on LeBron as he tries to flash away, but a big multi-man sleep coming up from Levi. Kiaya is in a little bit of danger, but G2 are already losing multiple members. Broken Blade tries to get away. The Swirl Seed tags him, but it doesn't matter. The Mountain Drake, the Mountain Soul, Broken Blade, all claimed. Shred your resistances if you're not paying proper respect to the enemy team showing up. GAM still putting the DPS into it. Broken Blade over the wall. Doesn't look like he's going to go for any kind of a steal. Kiaya and Eris both force that one down. Caps providing the damage. Kiaya goes in for the initiation, doesn't find what he's looking for, but he does zone Caps away. Hans Sama looking for Artemis, who flashes back to try to get to safety. Artemis still bleeding to the Dark Daggers. G2 wanted to make something happen there, but they don't quite find it. Now LeBron and Skumon taking a ton of damage as Kiaya continues chasing after Broken Blade. Eris zoning Caps out of the fight, so TF cannot join. Broken Blade's knocked up into the air, and Artemis is locked and loaded. GAM find another one.
Artemis really showing up for GAM.
100% kill participation on the Caitlyn, 90% kill participation on the support Galio from Elio as well. Both of these two.
Wait a second, they're actually looking at the mid lane here. Cho'Gath is in the brush on the side there.
Oh, Skumon steps up straight into a taunt! Elio The Galio! Absolutely on point all game long. That dog just got old Yellard, and it's time for GAM to head to the Baron.
The vision control here for GAM does force the check from G2, and you're thinking, oh, he's gonna be able to press W, go untargetable. But Elio doesn't even let him. Springs the trap so quickly. They get Skewmont, they get the Baron. Caps trying to split push back there.
Yeah, you're going to see Broken Blade and Caps. They use the Twisted Fate ulti to join up with Broken Blade, who already had the wave. They're going to place the ward over the wall, but it's blocked by the control ward. Now GAM, they're going to pull off. They'll go after Labrov instead. They know if they kill him off and they have a 5v4, it'll be so much easier to take the Elder fight guaranteed. Decimate with the stun. Justice Punch gets it done. Artemis goes godlike, and GAM now have their man advantage for the next 30 seconds. G2 still scrambling to get into a position here, but there's still no flashes on Hans and Caps. They've managed to heal up, but that's not enough. Broken Blade with a rupture over the wall, just trying to look around, see what's happening. Eris and Kiaya approaching from the side. Kiaya's got so much of a shield, nobody can even break it. Eris stealing away the killer instinct. Now it's 2 dead on G2. The Elder down to 30% HP, and GAM should be able to secure this here. Caps going in for the hero moment, but it ain't gonna happen. Instead, he just teleports to the other side of the rift. GAM with a 6,000 gold lead, with a Mountain Soul, with Otacon, with the Elder, with a man advantage for 25 seconds, marching towards the G2 base.
They're coming for that base. They're going to destroy this tower ever so quickly. G2 have to pray right now with the Elder Dragon and everything at their back. Scammer going for it.
There's still 10 seconds on Broken Blade as GAM goes straight in. Han Sama's already going to be under pressure. Eris continues the dive. G2 continue to retreat. They can pray if they want, but God's not listening. GAM force down the Nexus turrets. They make their way to the Nexus, and after starting at a 0-2 deficit, GAM will take us to Game 5, and Silver scrapes.
This draft to me looks pretty close. Here, Tom Kench having some fun.
Trap, but Skewmont coming in mid lane here, finds a nice stun onto Eris. There's the follow-up from Caps. Shockwave isn't going to do a whole lot. It's first blood over to Skewmont. And there were Skewmont once again trying to make the difference. Kiaya misses the Q2, goes in for the Q3 onto the Viego. Continues trying to make a little bit of extra distance with the third, and Tofo Strike's going to find him this time. Broken Blade gets a kill. Both goes all out, provides himself an exit route here, as now the World Ender is popped. Broken Blade trying to use the Pathmaker, but that means the Vi ulti has the opportunity to go back in. But Skewmont's also here. Broken Blade with another shield. GAM finds the first kill, but now Kiaya's got to make sure out of the otherwise immobile mid laner of GAM. But this whole time, because Labrov and Hans are now, we're in a contest for those boots. It's 2 kills for GAM or 1 kill for G2 to earn them, as Hans Sama is at least going to...
But using that thing, it already is fairly low.
Labrov gets rooted up there by the Seraphine, forced to flash out. Now they're ready to follow it, but that's a Seraphine ulti. They're throwing the whole kitchen sink at Tom Kench. He gets away with an Abyssal dive. A little bit more damage is still required. Levi still going in finally. Artemis secures the kick.
Team fighting for them. On the other side, of course, Hanstama here, stacking up the Senna. Slower now than previously, but also going to add the enchanting to his team. And they do that Rift-Tailed play. Even if it was delayed by Labrov going down for the vision, they still pull it off. They still get their goal.
Can he get the Herald down to the turret? Nice drifting from Skewmont there, crashing the Herald into the tier 1 turret in the bottom lane to guarantee they get that one as well. G2 goes all out. He can still try to regenerate a lot of HP. G2 decides against it. They don't want to potentially throw the lead here. They give the Mountain Drake over. Seraphine ulti into the
forcing them out. They also can turn it into some gold as well.
GAM about to tie this game up. It is 3 turrets to 3, 2 Drakes to help him. G2 easily secure this Otacon for themselves. And Kobe, although the gold is as close as it is, now if we look at the total amount of flower petals claimed by the timer favors GAM here as well. 24 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock means that there's no chance for G2 to try to trade something across the map there in the Baron Pit. Still not spawned yet. Otacon obviously already. Exactly. They did spend the Callista ult, the Seraphine ult, the buy ult, and G2 are going to use the opportunity to take the tier 2 turret here in the bottom lane. The play ultimately
To pull the trigger, to go for the kill.
Oriana shield on
Caps here.
Levi. Okay, Abyssal dive from LeBron. Kiaya
They
to
do
the
it.
target. G2 have already got him. Feet of warfare for G2. Kiaya down. GAM on the retreat. A nice knockback onto Elio, but Broken Blade has gone very far forward. To claim the blessing of Noxus, which is the boots, across all tier 1 regions in Split 2. The longest one was 31 minutes, but we don't have time for that. Caps has been caught out. Levi goes in for him, but LeBron's got the save. Tom Kench against Vi. He's made for this. Beautiful counter from G2, and the game is blown wide open. Han Sama with a kill, Caps with another, and G2 are about to take the Baron.
Caps doing it. G2, they're going to get the Baron. That will put an end to the stalemate. They will push in.
This game was so close for so long. For 29 minutes, they stared each other down. And when push came to shove, who steps up? Caps.
G2 wearing purple now.
So far this game, it feels like most of GAM's engage attempts have been onto the Lebrov Tom Kench, trying to shut down that get out of jail free card, but he's just so tanky.
Yeah, G2 with the Baron buff. They just get the split going. They're going to get the 4-1, claiming this gold, closing in slowly but surely. Huge gold lead for them. GAM.
Oh, nice from Skewmond. He immediately responds with a heartbreaker to get away, and Eris gonna get dove now. G2 is tired of waiting, and Broken Blade will create the space to pierce the base of GAM as G2 will find their first inhibitor here in the top lane. They'll find the second in mid right thereafter. That's 2 inhibs down, 32 HP remaining on it. 20 seconds until the Mountain Drake spawns. Han Sama with so much range. Easy to step up and take pot shots at this thing. As another wave steps up to the side of GAM, Levi wants to go in. The Seraphine ulti over the top. It only finds Broken Blade and LeBron. And now Levi is going on a one-way trip. GAM trying to force the fight forward, but Kiaya has to flash back. Caps is ready for the counterattack. Elio is saved by Artemis, but the Dawning Shadow finds multiple health bars. Artemis is already down. Kiaya and Eris both about to follow. No raid boss Aatrox in this one. Eris is gone. GAM is aced. And G2, they had to work for it. They had to sweat for it. They had to bleed for it, but they won't be denied. They eliminate GAM and move on to the main stage.